120 assignment now. I'm aware some of you are in the practical lab and you're not here for this assignment. And you're submitting this assignment tomorrow. For those in FOS, right? They gave it in FOS, right? So this Math 120 assignment solved by success. I'm about solving it now. So the essence of this video is to make sure that everybody gets the explanation for this assignment. So I'll solve the assignment now and you can follow up and understand the assignment. Your colleagues are in class, you can show their colleagues they're in class learning the assignment. But some of you could not make it because you have your practicals or your clearance. So I want to solve the assignment now and you can also have access to it. So let's go. Make sure the board is showing very well. Make sure everything in the board is showing very. So class, we have let f of x be equal to absolute class. This symbol has absolute value of x. Class, the absolute value of a positive number is a positive number. The absolute value of a positive number is a positive. But the absolute value of a negative number is a positive number. Class, the absolute value of minus 5 is 5. And the absolute value of 5 is also. So g of x, we are giving f of x as absolute value of x, and g of x as sine x, as sine x. Follow me carefully. And we have to find f of g of x and g of f of x. Plus, this question is under mathematics, we call it composition of function. Composition of. In fact, our first thing we'll do on Saturday for that math class will be functions. Let me choose this function very, so you can understand the domain and range. I'm sure after I give you a question, domain and range of a function, types of function. We'll demystify it on Saturday. But let's solve this assignment for now. So this is composition of function. F of g of x and g of f of x. F of g of x and g of f of. Class, follow me. I know g of x, right? I know g of x equals to sine x. F of x equals to absolute value of x. Class, how do we get f of g of x? If I'm to solve this in my exam, if I'm not teaching you, I'm just solving my exam. I'm working with time. I already know my answer. Let's assume I'm an exam, I'm not teaching anybody. I'm the student here, I want to write my exam. I don't have time. But what makes us slow is that we're teaching. If I'm solving the exam, I've gotten my answer. F of g of x means that f is carrying g. It's simply absolute value of sine x. And I'm done. If I'm the exam, I'm not teaching. Because teaching makes me slow down and try to make you understand. I'm just for myself. I'm a student. I'm an examiner. G of f of x without stressing myself. G of f of x is sine of absolute value of x. Final answer. Once you understand it, you get your answer. No stress. So what makes me take time in some topics? Because I'm teaching you. I'm trying to explain to make you understand. If it's just me, I'm done. I'm done with the assignment. We'll just start physics now. Another thing we can do again is just to help you solve the assignment. Then we'll come and do the explanation on Saturday. So that we can go to physics. And that makes sense. I'm not doing math. We're wasting their time. Does that make sense? Or you want to have small understanding? I should give you small. Yeah, take small. Take. Now follow me. So how did you have absolute value of sine x? And how do you have sine of absolute value of x? Follow me quickly. Class, if f of x is absolute value of x, and g of x sine x, may I use a simpler example? This is an assignment. Class, let f of x, follow me. Let f of x be 3x plus 5. And let g of x be 2x minus 1. Class, let's use a simpler example first. Let f of x be 3x plus 5. And let g of x be 2x minus 1. And someone says you should find f of g of x. Class, remember the topic. This topic is under composition of what? Composition of function. Follow me. F of g of x. Class, anytime they ask you composition of a function, the first function mentioned is the primary function, and the second function mentioned is secondary function. We have the primary function and the secondary. Class, the primary function is the one carrying the secondary function. Primary and what? So f of g of x. If the question says find f of g of x, it means f is primary, g is second. But when they say find g of f of x, who is primary this time around? G is primary, f is second. But f of g of x means that f is primary, g is secondary. Class, the primary function is carrying the secondary function. So class, to find f of g of x, first write down the primary function, 3x plus, f is the primary function, right? Write down the primary. Step 2, substitute for x as the secondary function. Step 2, substitute for x as the secondary. It means anywhere I see x here, replace it with the secondary function. Who is secondary function?
Sin
G of. And who is G of x?
Sin
2x minus. Anywhere I see x, put 2x minus 3 into bracket 2x minus 1 plus. Expand where necessary. Expand where 3 times 2x.
6x
3 times minus 1.
minus 3.
Minus 3 plus 5 is plus 2. Final answer is 6x plus. This is f of g of x. This is what? Let me repeat the steps again in case I was too fast. Step 1, identify your primary and secondary function. Identify your what? The primary function is the first function mentioned. F is primary. Who is secondary function? Of g of. Identify your primary and secondary function. Step 2, write down your primary function. Who is the primary function? 3x plus. Step 2, write down your primary function. Step 2, write down your primary function. Those offering Math 101, this topic is also under Math 101. Nothing is doing Math 101, Medlab, we're doing Math 101. Function is the topic that is in both Math 120 and Math 101. It's in the two mathematics. So those say I'm not offering Math 120, so it doesn't concern me. If you're offering any of the maths, this topic is important. Step 1, identify your primary and secondary. Step 2, write down your primary. Step 3, substitute for x as your secondary function. Step 3, substitute for, then replace x with your secondary function. You can put it that way. Replace x with your secondary. In any way you see x, replace it with secondary function. Who is secondary? G of x, which is what?
2x.
So instead of x here, replace it with 2x minus and resolve as simplify it to the what simplest answer. Simplify means if you need to expand, expand. If you need to subtract, subtract. If you need to divide, divide. And get your final. Class, are we following? Let us see if you actually follow. Let us find the opposite. Let's now find G. Follow this. Let us find G of f of x time around. Class, in G of f of x, who is primary and who is secondary?
G is primary.
G is primary, f is
secondary.
So class, what's step 1? Write down your primary. So what am I writing now? Which G? 2x minus. Write down your primary. G is 2x minus. What's step 2? So replace x with your secondary. Replace x with your what? Or substitute for x with your secondary function. Class, so instead of x, someone will come and take x place here. Who is taking x place? The secondary. Who is secondary function in this question? F. And who is f? 3x plus. So instead of x, what is going to 2 into bracket? Minus 2 times 3x. 2 times 5. 10 minus. This is where we say resolve where necessary. Resolve where, because you cannot stop there and say I'm done. Resolve, now that one normal common sense. 10 minus 1, 9, right? You can't go further, right? Final. Does this make sense? Is anybody still lost?
No.
Is anybody still lost? Why are you lost? The second one more time. Find G of f of x. First of all, write down your primary. Step 1 actually is identify your primary and secondary function. Identify your primary and secondary. Step 2, write down your primary. So primary is G, secondary is Now write down your primary function 2x minus 1 because G is the primary. G is primary 2x minus. Write down your primary function. After writing down your primary function, replace x with your secondary or substitute for x with your secondary. Means anywhere you see x here, replace with secondary. And who is our secondary? F. And who is f? 3x plus. So instead of 2x minus 1, you have 2 into bracket 3x plus. Resolve where necessary and get your final. Class, is that clear? Can we now move what we understood here to the main assignment?
Yes.
So I've given you something that you're comfortable with. Let's now go to the main. Quickly, please. If you still need me to copy this thing on the board, it means you have not understood it well. To the main question, can you just understand? The main question is under example can use. Someone must have already started saying why my answers are like this now.
Yes, sir.
You see, my answer making sense to you now
Yes,
already.
sir.
Some people have picked it, okay, that's why, oh, okay. But you must still pick it, let me still do. Class, f of g of x is now clear that f is primary, g is second. Write down your primary, which is the primary? F, which is what? Absolute value of
X.
This is how you interpret this question. This means absolute value of x. After writing down your primary, replace x with your what?
The secondary.
Replace x with your what?
Secondary.
Who is my secondary? G
Sin
of
X.
And what is g of x?
Sin X.
You see why I have sin x here?
Yes, sir.
Finish. So there was what I saw that made me fast in my solving. There was what I saw that made me fast in my g of f of x. Let's second one. G is primary, so write down your primary function. Primary function is sine. Primary function is sine. Now replace x with your secondary. Who is secondary now? Absolute value of
X.
So replace x here with absolute value sine, absolute value. Final. Class, you could also be asked to find composition of 3 functions. Class, this one is composition of 2.
Function.
But they not give you assignment on that. Let me know if they're to go there. On Saturday, we'll do maths very. Some people are missing out and they're not doing maths. You understand? I must reward them. They came to class. I cannot teach what they are not learning, and then that's why throughout the week we put a general course. You see why I don't put math during the week? Because someone will be missing out. Someone anatomy student that came today now will not learn anything. But I'm not offering math 120. Med lab is not offering math 120. So when they come today now, what they learn? That's why I'll put a general course during the week and put maths and chemistry on Saturday. Math and chemistry on what? So Saturdays are for our chemistry and math. During the week when you come, our focus is physics. So any day you come, you can learn something. Everybody will learn. Everybody's offering physics. So please, I will have to do this. Even I have shown you function of 3 functions. There's what we call inverse of a function, inverse of a Saturday. We'll see domain and range, all those things. Now,